Good afternoon, good morning, good night, whatever it is that you're listening to podcasts. My name is Eric Stefan Booth. And I wrote a book, more than one book, but I'm pushing this book. This is my new book. It came out about 3 weeks ago. Judas Priest 2, Parker, science fiction. Now you want to know if there's any gays in it? No. But you never know. It's about hermaphrodites and all kinds of creatures that can do what they want to do. Bisexual creatures. Not really. It's a science fiction. It's about a 13-year-old kid who gets kidnapped by an android. Anyway, if you read Judas Priest 1 and you like that, you surely will like Judas Priest 2. So I'm putting that out there. But today, what's the conversation I have for you today? I have a friend. Yes, I got a friend. And we had a conversation about, being that we're both old, he's 4 and I'm 71, loneliness. I mean, we were talking about getting into a relationship not to be alone, to have someone to grow old with. Well, I may have talked about this in other podcasts, but today I just feel like let's deep down into it, how I feel about loneliness. My name is Eric, and welcome to the craziness that lives inside my head.
Taste the fruit.
Well, first of all, I don't think I have a feeling of being lonely. I had an ex-boyfriend. We broke up in 1978. He kept up with my whereabouts, which I didn't know. Is that ghosting? That's what the kids call ghosting today? Because he knew I did a play. I did 2 plays. I had 2 plays produced back in the early 80s. And he knew about it. And the first bombing, I used to work on Wall Street, a block away from the World Trade Center. And the first bombing, those of you don't know, the young ones, the World Trade Center was bombed back in 1993. That was the first bombing it had. And everything was shut down. I had to walk to the village to get on the train. There was no all the electricity, everything in that area was shut down. We were put on lockdown, 1993. So anyway, I finally got home, and the phone rang. We didn't have cell phones then, guys. The phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and it was my ex from 1978. And I'm like, wow. In my mind, I said to him, how the hell did you get my number? But the reason why I probably didn't ask, we had, look at this. Oh, my books fell. Is that a good sign? So anyway, he said he heard about the bombings and what happened. And I didn't ask him how he got my number because we had mutual friends. So I'm quite sure what's the sense of asking, So he said to me, he wanted to know, was there a void in my life? And I'm void? What's void? And I kind of think he was saying, if I'm not mistaken, I took it to mean loneliness. Was I lonely? And I said, no, there was no void in my life, which it wasn't. I told him I didn't have a boyfriend. I didn't have even a suitor or anybody. But I had a lot of friends. And I was doing my plays. I had also all the stuff I was doing. I was getting sober. So I was going to AA meetings, OA meetings, NA meetings. Who had time to be lonely if you're doing all that kind of stuff? So I told him I wasn't lonely. I said, but that's I wasn't having sex with anybody, but I wasn't lonely. Because sometimes being gay, a lot of men takes loneliness, meaning you're not getting sex. At the time, no, I wasn't having sex, but I wasn't lonely. I had too much things to do in my life. So me and my new friend of today, we're older. Back then I was like 30. Now I'm 40 years older. And I was asked the same question. You know, don't you want to get together? You don't want to be lonely all your life. Time is short and you don't know how long you're going to live. And you want to, and I'm like, okay, time is short. Time's been, time. The way the doctors talked, I was over 400 pounds. Time was always short. I was always supposed to drop dead any minute, any moment. Even now. So anyway, I said, okay, but I don't want to rush into anything, even at my age. I mean, I think the most horrifying thing that I feel, if I were to meet somebody, and let's say fall in love, and gave up all this to be with them, and we live together for 2 or 3 years and find out that we're not compatible, and we can't stand each other, because living with someone is way different than seeing them. So anyway, dating them. So I said, no, I don't feel lonely. And I feel if you keep yourself, I'm not forcing myself to keep busy. I just like to do these things. I like writing books. I like talking to you guys. As my if my mother was alive, you say, you like to make a fool out of yourself. That's why you like to know. No, I like doing this stuff. And yeah, I might get, that's not lonely. I might get horny, which I haven't been horny over a year. When they shooting hormones up in your body for prostate cancer, that takes away all the horniness and all the sex and you had in your mind. I mean, it's a damn shame. I can see a naked black man with hairy body with a 10-inch dick, and I look at it, I'm like, what's new? Nice like that. I mean, no feelings, nothing, no tingling, because of the hormone treatments I'm on. But I digress. So I told a story to my friend because he doesn't want to be lonely. He don't like being lonely. He don't like being by himself. He want to be with somebody. Okay, fine. I'm with you. But don't expect me to just rush into these. I've seen so many. I'm 70 some years old. I've seen straight people, gay people. They rush into, I know one girl. She had a baby by this guy. They weren't married. They lived together for 5 years. Taking care of the kid. Lived together. Finally, they decided to get married. They got married. For some reason, they couldn't stand each other. And they got a divorce in 2 months. I mean, it's different. It's different. When you start living with somebody, start being with somebody, it's a different situation. The feelings are different. The dynamics of being together is different. So, all I have to say is this. Yes, I know, because my friend said there's a lot of people our age out there that are lonely. I have a sister-in-law. She's in her 80s. What is she doing? Okay, my nephew said, well, all her friends died. Well, I said, well, go out there and make new friends. Don't stay home. Yeah, but she don't want to do this, and she don't. Well, then that's her fault. If she's lonely, she ain't out there, participating in the world. That's her fault. I don't care how old you are. Have you guys Star Trek friends? Excuse my expression. Star Trek fans? Look at Captain Kirk. He's 91 years old. I think last year when he was 90, didn't Musk took him up into space and something. I mean, come on. You make yourself lonely. I know it's scary. I mean, like me. Look at me. Well, dude, look at me. Sometimes I go to Walmart. You should see me in Walmart. I don't dress like this in Walmart. Sometimes I feel like going like this in Walmart. So anyway, I go to Walmart. I talk to strangers. I said, what was it? I think it was bacon. Bacon went up. And I turned to this woman. She doesn't know me. It's a white woman, too. She don't know who. She looked at me like I was crazy. I said to her, don't you know this bacon was just $2 cheaper last week? And I'm just ranting on and on and on. Finally, I looked at her face, and her face like she couldn't give a fuck. That's what she had in her face, like, I don't give a fuck. So I said to her, oh, I'm sorry. I talk to strangers. And I walked away. But anyway, I'm just ranting on. I just want to get this out because probably it's in my veins about making that big decision. Making that big decision. I had 2 guys in my life who wanted to marry me. Okay? I had 2. Now I got 3. So I turned down the last 2, but I understand you ain't getting any younger. If somebody want to marry you, you better marry him. But see, I can't think that way. I can't think that way. If I want to marry you, and I do like the guy a lot, very a lot. Don't worry about the sex. Like I said, I'm on this hormone stuff. Sex, I have no sex drive whatsoever. Hopefully, it said it takes a year for it to wear off. I took my last shot, so let's see what happens. Maybe a year from now, I'll be humping his bones. Anyway, my name is Eric, and thank you for listening to the craziness that lives inside my head.
The journey that began in 2018 continues into the 2040s. Dr. Fernandez has found a way to infuse the God particle into the DNA and genes of a hybrid human. All that is left is extracting these DNA cells from the hybrid human.